and welcome back to more Spongebob Squarepants Battle for Bikini Bottom. Where in the last episode, we concluded our adventures in Goo Lagoon, which was the final area of this first section of Bikini Bottom, and today we are going to be venturing into the second part. Well, I mean, we're going to try, but we're going to be stopped by a little toll gate right here, which requires 15 golden spatulas to bypass, and this toll gate is going to be our first major boss battle of the game. Yeah, we had Jellyfish Fields with King Jellyfish. Yeah, we had the ambush at the lighthouse in downtown Bikini Bottom, but this is going to be our first major confrontation of the game. So, if you're ready, walk up to the toll gate to unlock it, and enter the Poseidome.
I have brought you two here to face a great challenge.
I've got nerves of steel and muscles of sand.
And eyes of jelly.
My Poseidome has been breached by a mighty foe whom you must vanquish.
Bring it on, Your Highness! Bring it on!
In this corner, defending the Poseidome, a small square guy. And his challenger, a huge murderous robot shaped like a squirrel.
Look, it's a giraffe.
I think I need to get home to feed Gary.
Alright, so first things first, you want to stand to the back of the area and then just wait for her to jump. She's going to jump at you eventually. When she does, move out of the way, jump into the air as she lands, and then press the B button to bubble bounce. Remember when I said that at the beginning of Goo Lagoon that these bosses are designed to test your skills that you've learned until this point? Well, this is the perfect embodiment of it. Up until this point, the major bubble moves you've learned are the bubble bounce and the bubble bash, and you're going to need to use both of them in order to defeat this boss battle. So again, jump as she lands and to avoid the shockwave effect, and then use the bubble bounce, to stun her as she lands. And doing so will deal damage to her. Now, this starts off pretty simple, but you notice there's three little sections of three. So there's 3 red bars, 3 yellow bars, and 3 green bars. This is just the first phase. It's gonna get a lot harder in just a second.
I wanna play.
Pantic, we're not playing. We're fighting for our lives.
I wanna play.
Oh, all right.
Alright, so now we're playing as Patrick, and it's the same general concept in the sense is that you have to wait for her to jump and then belly flop, but this time she's going to do a little bit of a spring attack where she lines herself up against the back and then springs at you. Here, just jump over her legs. That's going to get harder in the third phase, but for now it's pretty simple. Just wait for her to spring at you, and then jump over her legs. Then the same thing as always, jump as she lands, belly flop. But this time, her helmet's going to fly off, so we haven't actually dealt any damage to her yet. But remember, Patrick can pick up objects, so simply go pick up her helmet and throw it at the scoreboard, which is now electrified, to do damage to Sandy just like that. And then we're going to rinse and repeat this process for the rest of Phase 2, and then we'll switch back to SpongeBob for Phase 3, when we're going to have to use everything we've learned up until this point in order to defeat Sandy. So, let's go ahead and just wait for her to spring at us again. In fact, if you actually hide against the side where she's springing like this, then she'll completely go over you, and you won't even have the chance to damage you because she'll fly over you as she starts to spring, so you won't even be in danger of doing any damage to her whatsoever. Anyway, here's going to be hit number 2. Gotta run for the... grab it. There we go. Okay, now let's just go ahead. I don't know why the hands summoned... you'll notice for a second that the hands kind of appeared around the giant... the fish announcer back here. I don't know why that happened, but it did, I suppose. Also, plenty of underwear around the area for you to be able to replenish your health if you need to. Although I don't foresee that really happening because it's pretty hard to get hit in this first boss battle. It's pretty simple. So just as long as you know what you're doing. Anyway, here comes the final hit. Let's go ahead and jump over as she springs towards us. Yeah, so as you'll notice, there's a lot of waiting in these boss battles. I'll talk a little bit more about this in the finale when we beat the game, and we can just kind of sit back and reminisce on the walkthrough. But this game's biggest flaw is its boss battles. Not all of them. There are some that keep you on your toes and you're really fast paced and awesome. But for the most part, a lot of them are really slow, and there's a lot of waiting involved in them. But I'll get more into that when we get around to the finale and the credits roll.
That was fun. Your turn, SpongeBob.
Oh,
Alright, so just like last time, she is going to do a bit of a spring attack, but this time it's not just going to be her legs that come at you, it's going to be her arms as well. So you need to jump through the window just like this, which I failed to do because I didn't jump soon enough. But you basically have to jump through the window There's a small window between her arms and her legs that you can jump through safely, and that's what you want to try to aim for. Or alternatively, you can just do the cheap tactic I showed you last time. Anyway, here, you have to bubble bounce and then bubble bash, because the bubble bounce won't be enough. She'll grab her helmet this time, and then you have to bubble bash underneath her helmet like this to actually do damage to her. So it combines the bubble bounce and the bubble bash together in order for you to actually be able to do damage to her. Anyway, yeah, so this time I'm going to actually try to show off jumping through the window, which is what I was trying to do last time. So, again, she's going to spring at you. If you jump through the window like this, I recommend doing a single jump and then immediately spin stalling. Don't bother trying to double jump. Just jump once, spin stall to make yourself to sustain your elevation, and then you can fly through the gap and make it through the other side in one piece. And then I'll try to demonstrate the cheap tactic, the cheese tactic, I should say, to cheese the game this time. So she's going to run back towards the wall behind her at this point. And then you have to make sure you're up against the wall like this, so that she goes right over you. Okay, I wasn't far enough against the wall, but yeah, if you hide directly up against the wall that she was at, like if I had hit right here, she would have flown right over me. But either way, not that big of a deal. So just wait for her to bounce, go bounce of yourself, and then bubble bash to finish the boss battle.
That was quite a battle. Tell him what he's won, Johnny. It's a new power, the Bubble Bowl. But wait, there's more. A golden spatula, and that's not all. A gift certificate for $5.32 to Dean's Little Shop of Dried Fish Flakes and Flowers.
Oh, thank you. It all means so much. I promised myself I wouldn't cry.
Cry all you want, but not here. We just wax the floors.
Hey, Plankton.
Yes, what is it?
I was just wondering why all the robots seem to be coming from
Have they? I really haven't noticed.
Yeah. And then there's that big flashing neon sign that says Robot Headquarters.
SpongeBob, I'm your friend, right?
No, not really.
Exactly, and as your non-friend, I worry about you. Like right now, you're thinking too much. I'm worried you might really hurt yourself. Tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna think for you. This way you won't hurt yourself, and you can just keep working on getting me into the jump bucket.
Thanks, Plankton. You're the best non-friend a friend could have. No more thinking for me.
Oh, SpongeBob, how wonderfully naive you are. Anyway, welcome to the second part of Bikini Bottom. We have 3 new areas to explore. One of them's over there, one of them is inside this building, and the other one is right back there. We're not going to be exploring any of them today because, of course, there's, as was the case with the first episode, there's plenty of golden spatulas and socks for us to collect in the main area of Bikini Bottom that we're going to take care of. But before we do any of that, I'm going to introduce you to 2 new things. First off, you'll notice that now there's actually a SpongeBob in the hub world that we can interact with. This was first introduced to us back in downtown Bikini Bottom. And we can now interact with this like so, and roll around the levels a bit quicker. So, and really the reason why this is here is because the game spawns you. Like, if I were to back out to the menu and then come back in, it would spawn me over by SpongeBob's Pineapple. So if I wanted to quickly get my way back over to the second part of the Bikini Bottom, I can just hit the Sponge Ball and quickly roll right over here and pick up right back in this area. So it's just a neat little thing to make progression or make transportation a little bit quicker. But more importantly than that, we have a new ability that we can use. So let's talk to Bubble Buddy and see what that new ability is.
Let me teach you how to bowl a bubble. Press this button and you'll bowl a bubble that can knock down robots from a safe distance.
Wow!
Remember though, the bubble bowl only works on things that are close to the ground.
Got it.
Yeah, so basically if you tap the B button and let go, SpongeBob's gonna bowl a bubble and it will roll right on through like you're, well, going bowling. Of course, the longer you hold the button, the more charged up it'll be, so you can hold it until it automatically releases, and the ball will go much faster than if you just tap the button and release. You notice it goes really slow there, and then if I hold the B button and then just he'll let go automatically, it goes much, much faster, so it's a good thing to know. And also, in Rehydrated, the camera moves as you aim, but in this button, in this version, the camera doesn't move, it just stays stationary, and then allows you to manually aim like this, so it's just a little difference between the two in that sense. Anyway, so you may recall that back in Jellyfish Fields, there was a little thing called a bowling minigame that we could have done. So, now that we have the bubble ability, we're going to warp to Patrick's Dilemma. We're going to warp to this spatula, because this is going to put us right at the top of the cliff where Mermaid Man was. Then from here, we're going to turn ourselves around, grab the shiny objects. Oh, wait, never mind. Sorry. Ignore what I said about shiny objects. Just pull the right trigger to go to Jellyfish Rock, which is going to put us at the top of this area, which is the closest that we can get to actually being able to hit the bubble bowling minigame. As you notice, it was right over there. Last time we saw it, so we're just going to quickly make our way back over in that general direction. And then all we got to do is just bowl a bubble, and we'll get our spatula. Unlike in Rehydrated, because in Rehydrated you have to actually hit all the pins to win. But in this version, you just have to bowl a bubble and generally hit all the balls, or hit all the bowling pins, and then you'll win. So just back up and release, and then you'll get your sock. Just go ahead and walk over here, and the sock is ours. Now, we're still not 100% jumping Jellyfish Fields, because you'll notice that there's still one more sock that we're missing over in the Jellyfish Lake. But we still need a different ability in order to actually get this, and we don't have that yet, so we will be back in episode 14, and then we'll be able to clear this out. Same thing with Downtown Bikini Bottom. But for now, that's all we can do in here, so let's go ahead and warp back to on top of Shady Shoals, and now we're going to start getting ourselves some golden spatulas and socks around the second part of Bikini Bottom. And then once we do that, tomorrow we're going to go over to Rock Bottom, and then that'll be the first area we explore, or the first new area we explore in the second part of Bikini Bottom. And you'll notice that I'm just going to go ahead and use my Bubble Bowl ability to hit these Thunder Tikis over here to get myself some more shiny objects, because we're still not at the point where we're going to grind. We're going to grind before we head off to Sand Mountain, and I'll explain why when we actually get there. So, episode 13 is when we're going to start grinding using the methods that I talked about last time. But for now, what we're going to do is we are just going to go ahead and put our Bubble Bowling and platform skills to the test by standing on this platform right here, which setting on this will cause the gate to release like that, or the gate to raise like that. Then bowl your bowling ball, if I can speak properly, at the bottom, which will cause a series of platforms and trampoline to appear. And, of course, the golden spatula at the top of the Shady Shoals. So go ahead and bounce off this trampoline. Quickly go behind. You do have enough time to do this, don't worry. Quickly go behind here, and then jump inside this to get yourself a golden pair of underwear, which, as we recall from episode 1, gains us an additional hit point, so we can take more damage in combat scenarios, which is going to be very useful. And then, of course, just make your way over here by jumping across the platforms as they spin, making sure you jump over them as they rotate so that you don't fall off the edge. And then make your way up on top of Shady Shoals and collect your golden spatula as your reward. Just like so. Now, we're not quite done just yet. We do have a few more things to take care of. First and foremost, we are actually going to go ahead and jump off here down to where this fountain is, and then we're going to attack the fountain like this, and then jump on top of the fountain in order to get the sock that's going to appear directly above it. So to repeat, attack the fountain, and then jump on top of it to grab yourself a sock directly above it. Now, for the last thing we're going to take care of, we are going to head into Sandy's Tree Dome.
Sandy, your tree dome is leaking!
Them there robots busted up the glass, SpongeBob. I got a treehouse chock full of robots, and it's all your fault, so get in there and clean up your mess.
Alright, so much like the Ambush at the Lighthouse, this is basically a combat challenge where we have to defeat all the Duplicatotrons and all the robots in a certain amount of time. We have 2 minutes and 40 seconds to pull this off, which is way more than enough time. Alright, so first things first, you want to, of course, make sure you try to prioritize all the Duplicatotrons so that they can't spawn any more enemies. So the first Duplicatotron is going to be on top of this picnic table right there, so you can go ahead and take that one out. Bubble Bowl, remember you do have the Bubble Bowl now, and the Bubble Bowl can be used to attack enemies from a distance like this, which is extremely convenient. So the second one was going to be over in this area, and I Bubble Bowled into it so that we could take it out from a distance. And then we are, of course, going to take out the last Duplicatotron over on that area, or that side of the area with the Bubble Bowl. And now we can just focus on wiping out all the enemies that are still around, such as the tartar sauce, this little fodder right here, and any additional enemies that we found around the area. Once we take them all out, that will be this mission completed. And as you can see, we had plenty, or once I defeat these last couple fodders, we had plenty of time to spare. You've destroyed all the robots. Yeah, so as you saw, the Bubble Bowl was extremely useful in actually being able to attack enemies from a distance instead of having to walk up to each of them individually. So it's a nice little trick to keep in mind for future combat scenarios, because there will be combat scenarios in the future where every trick we have is gonna come in handy in terms of actually being able to clear the area. Anyway, go to talk to Sandy to get your reward.
Alrighty then, that's much better. I suppose you'll be needing this more than me.
And that is all the golden spatulas and socks that we can obtain in the second part of Bikini Bottom. There are, of course, many more golden spatulas waiting for us in the areas themselves, those being Rock Bottom, the Mermalair, and Sand Mountain, in, well, Rock Bottom, Shady Shoals, and Sand Mountain, respectively. But for the time being, that's all we can do in this general area. So tomorrow we're going to pick up by heading off over to Rock Bottom and beginning our adventures over there. So that'll be it for now. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for next time to catch you all tomorrow for some more Spongebob Squarepants Battle for Bikini Bottom. Goodbye.